Welcome back to Grown Women Talk. I'm Kia.
And I'm Cheré.
You all were missing someone very important today. We're missing Andrea.
Yes, our BFF.
She couldn't be with us today, and we are going to hold it down for her.
That's right.
And represent her.
That's right.
On the show.
Yes.
So you all, we have a great show today because we've been telling you for the longest time that we were going to talk about Just Mercy, the movie. It has finally come out. It's finally been released. Yeah. And it was worth the wait.
Yes.
How fantastic. But before we get into that, you all, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share the love and the information with your friends so that they can come on and chat with us too about so many enlightening and fun topics. Today happens to be an enlightening topic. So Just Mercy, the movie. You all remember we talked about the book?
Yes.
If you haven't seen the book review, please look at the down below. We'll have a link so that you can watch the show where we talk about the book. Because the movie set it up so well. I mean, the movie took some of the best, most beautiful parts. Sometimes you go to a movie and it doesn't do the book justice at all. I think this did. I think it really did because it brought you into the criminal justice system, but in a way that you could really feel it. You could feel it through the character. So for you all who don't know, Just Mercy is the story of Bryan Stevenson, who has devoted his life to helping people who are on death row, fighting for their cases, and with the Equal Justice Initiative that he found in Alabama. So, you know, it was so amazing to see Michael B. Jordan, who also produced the film, to play Bryan Stevenson. I think he did a great job.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
He really was wonderful. Thank you for doing this important project.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you for that.
Yeah, I think he did a great job because he was able to show the passion. You know, it began with him going on death row as an intern. He was an intern. He was at Harvard. He was at Harvard Law School trying to find out what he wanted to do. He knew he wanted to help people. They sent him to death row just to tell this one inmate that he was not going to get a date for a while for execution. When he went in there, the guy was almost his own age. And they sat there and talked for over 2 hours. The guy was just so grateful that somebody came to give him hope.
Yes, yes. And the fact that they were able to join, is at one point they were both strangers from opposite sides of the table, or opposite sides of justice. But there was a point where they were able to join as two boys who used to be in the choir
at AME,
at an African Methodist Episcopal
church. Which we are too.
Which we are too.
It was like, wow, that was so great.
It was a beautiful moment.
Yes, he talked about how he sang on the choir. It made him human.
Exactly.
It showed how people on death row are still human beings, you know what I mean? And many of them are there because of things that they did not do. Many of them are there, some of them he shows somebody who did do a crime, but his life was still valuable. It was so important to see that, and the friendship amongst the people living on the row, as they call it, was so powerful.
Absolutely. And to have those there, some of whom are mentally ill, and not being assessed and not being treated. There was one...
A veteran.
It was a veteran there. Some of you all know I work with veterans, so that, I'm sorry, is close to my heart. But this veteran had PTSD after he came back from war and had not been treated for it and began to act out and cause someone to lose their life. But what was said in the movie was that does not give somebody the right to take his life.
Right.
And I mean, there's several messages there.
Oh, that was so powerful. And oh, I don't want to give away everything. You all have to go and read it. When that man was put to death and he selected the old rugged cross to be played. I mean, just powerful moments in there. We were crying. There were people beside us. It was these girls who came in there. They were hard, and talking throughout the movie. And all of a sudden it stopped. They were silent and they started to weep because it was that powerful, the movie. Walter McMillan, who the crux of the movie really is about, that one case in particular. Just like the book surrounds Walter McMillan. Jamie Foxx, incredibly plays that character.
McMillan. He really did.
Oh.
He became him.
Oh.
Phenomenal work.
Phenomenal.
Thank you,
and to see that case and to be there, really, he was there because nobody took on his case who cared about him or who cared about the case. There was so many injustices in the case. He had all these people who were with him who vouched for where he was.
During the killing.
During the killing, that the prosecution chose not to listen to.
Yes.
They ignored them.
Exactly.
I mean, all these different things. And he's just one example of people who are on death row who don't have A, the money for real counsel,
Right.
or B, somebody who will take on their case. But the character of Bryan Stevenson, it showed him put in hours and hours and hours of study into this case because he cared.
Absolutely. And part of the message that I saw from Bryan Stevenson is that there's so much injustice going on with death row and other pieces of the puzzle because of lawyers who don't value justice. Really, that's what the oath is. There's an oath that I take as a clinical therapist. There's an oath that doctors take.
That's right.
Not to do no harm. That's
Right.
the first
That's
law of what I do.
That's right.
And I'm sure lawyers have an oath as well. But the number of lawyers that we saw who never even read the case, who never even looked for details.
That's right.
But I thank Bryan Stevenson for being a champion of justice.
Yes. And he walked in, and you know, this was in the face of blatant racism. Blatant racism. That they just, certain things happened to, it showed when Bryan Stevenson's character himself was pulled over by racist white officers who treated him like he was a dog just because he was black. They didn't care that he was a Harvard lawyer. They didn't care that he was whatever. All they saw was a black regular man. And they treated him like nothing. And they was, you know, they had a gun to his head, you know, and so we take for granted, so many of us, our freedom, our liberty, all of these things because of, you know, of where we live or whatever, but there's still so much injustice that is going on in these United States of America. I'm so glad that there are champions who are out there fighting, you know, for those who don't have anyone to fight for them. One of the things that also just really gripped me was at the end, even through all that Walter McMillan suffered through, there's a silver lining somewhat at the end. But Walter McMillan was a broken man from a system that broke him. And they showed that because, you know, just of all he went through. And it just really hurt me to see that because there's so many men and women who go through the system, who have done nothing wrong, but become broken people.
It's beyond unfortunate that our system that should be for justice ends up doing more damage than good. Injustice. We just want to shout out Mrs. Minnie McMillan.
Yes.
And the amazing actress who played her in the film.
Yes.
What a
love.
What a love that she had for her husband, for their family, and for justice, because she stuck with him through it all. And we really appreciate all of the women and spouses of folks who are in the justice system who stick by them and continue to rally for the family. And we really want to appreciate you as well.
And we're so excited to share this movie with you all. I hope that you heard it from us first when we started talking about this some time ago. But we want you to go out and see it. Take your friends, take your family. Let's support this movie. In all honesty, you all, we cry for movies about black life. We cry for black movies. And then if we don't go out and support it, and doesn't make money, then they won't make more. So this is something that really is important.
Absolutely.
That you go out and support. Please do so.
Yep. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your children, send text messages.
Yes.
Put it on Facebook.
Yes.
And just
go.
continue and just go.
And just go.
Let's not wait for the movie to come out on tape or whatever. Go and see it now when we have to pay.
And we're really caught up in this whole criminal justice piece. We've been talking about it for a while. Cheré and I have a childhood friend who was incarcerated for a long time, and he was just released. And we are trying to talk him into coming on the show and telling his story. He's just written a book. And so, you know, stay tuned for that. We're hoping that he will come on and share his personal story about the criminal justice system and what happened to him inside and now outside. So anyway, we have a lot of interesting things coming up on the show. And we are so happy that you all are with us today. And we just say, go see Just Mercy, okay?
Yes.
So, as we like to say, how are we going to say it without Andrea?
Land sakes.
Well, get
ready, reset,